Hello, my name is Vance Hubbard, and I'm going to show you a little bit about WIPFW, which is the IPFW that is based on the free uh, BSD. So the first thing we're going to talk about is I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to say that it's only installed really um, even partially on Windows 7. Windows 8 has so many built-in protocols that it's very difficult to even begin to load in open source. However, with it being open source, I'll talk about how you get around that and um, what you need to do in order to make sure that you can put an open source that's working functionally out there. And so here you see, I want to show you some of the stuff on the advanced firewall just from what Windows has. Windows has inbound, outbound rules, has your security rules, it has monitoring. Over here you see that you can make new rules. Here we're on the outbound rules screen in this particular slide. Again, this is the advanced firewall. And so it's kind of neat because you see all these other properties here. Well, then go over here, you see all the rule types, protocols, ports, scopes, action, profile, name. And then here, I was just kind of messing around when I did this. I kind of made a rule and I said, hey, let's go ahead and block Firefox from being able to go outbound. And just to kind of see what it would do. And then once you go to the next screen, it has a couple of these screens you have to step through and put in all your information. That I chose any, local ports any. So basically I was blocking everything that tried to go out of Firefox. One of the biggest problems that you run into when dealing with open source is that you have to deal with two parts in Windows 7. You'll have to turn on a test signature, and you'll also have to reset the load option so that it does not do integrity checks. Now, having said that, there's also you can also hold the right a shift and then right click on your restart, and when it restarts you just step through the options until you get to the part where it says that you can disable the integrity check at the start, because it will stop you a lot. Now, there's a couple things that you can do, but we'll talk about those later on at the end here. I will tell you that you can go, well, we'll just talk about it now. You can go ahead and go to the source file here on sourceforge.net, and you want to go to the stable edition, and you can actually get the source code for the program, and then you can actually recompile it yourself and set it up so that it runs on 64. Currently, Windows 7 is best set for 32-bit edition, and XP is the last really supported 64-bit, unfortunately. So that's some of the stuff that's kind of a drawback. There's also, if we go into this virtual window, here's a Qt firewall, which is actually the GUI interface that you can download in addition, or you can do everything right off of the command prompt. Now, myself, I like to kind of test out off the GUI firewall, and then if it works, and it's something I want to keep, you can go ahead and you can create what they call a shell script and save it. So if you say you want to do a new rule, again, notice all the stuff that you already saw, direction in, or is it outbound, or do you want to go in and out? Do you want to go via, that has a few more protocols you can set. Here, this one's only restricted now to IP. There's another version that you can get that actually has all that, and you can allow, deny, basically everything you can do with the advanced firewall. You can do with this right here. If you look here, here's your IP. You know, there I was actually doing the instead of doing my IP, I was actually setting up so that I was prohibiting Mozilla from loading. And so it's kind of the same there. There's other downloads you can get that will actually have more things than just IP enabled. And when you do that, that's pretty seriously cool. Now, even though it says this, the file itself, this is actually one that someone was setting up to block this 27001, because I guess it's how a lot of people like to try and do some spoofing there. So I guess it's common that they'll reroute to that when they do that. At least that's what one person said. I don't know. I have never done that type of stuff. All right, so you see that it works just the same as the other once you get it all set. Now again, like I said, the big problem is your security features. With open source, you have no control over what is in the file. And to give you an idea of how much of a nightmare it could be using open source, and if you don't do the compile, I'm going to go ahead and show you a prime example. Right here is just a small list of all the different downloads that I did. Right here, you'll notice that's the only 64-bit. Windows 7 is 32. XP is 32. It works pretty good with 32. Like I said, the only one that was there that even did any of the stuff is the 64. However, there are actually, like I said, you can download the source files from SourceForge, and you can get the whole thing. So, you know, in summary, what we can say is we know what the files here can do. And if you want to take the time and kind of mess around with different setups, you would eventually get something that was working. However, the problem is you have no control over what Microsoft is going to do in the future, and long-term support would be limited. XP lasted forever, and so there's a lot of development that kind of stopped when they stopped doing XP, and this is particularly true with Windows open source stuff. I actually use Ubuntu quite a little bit, just because I'm able to usually get pretty secure stuff in their site and get common upgrades and able to use open source quickly and easily on theirs because it is open, so we can actually go into the system and look at it. Here, the kernel is very well protected. You have firewall, plus you have also all these trust certificate protocols that have been embedded into Microsoft. So what you have to do is you have to go in and actually go here and create your own INF files. There's a sign tool that you can do right over here. I was looking up the sign tool, and it's not too hard. You gotta watch out though, because a lot of times what it'll do is it'll take you over to the hardware side of things, and what you're looking for is the sign tool, but you're not going to do the sign tool for hardware. However, if you get the Windows SDK, and you can use everything from the command prompt, and Microsoft has all the stuff available that you need to create your own certificates. If you do that, and you compile your own source code, then you're great. So Microsoft wants to know if things are helpful here. Not in the middle of my talk. So we'll just go ahead and recap. Thank you.